Board games is what we like to play. Board games to enjoy our day. Board games, it's what we like to play. Board games to enjoy our day. Today I am getting kind of hyped. We're going to play a new prototype, and it is called Phonemos, where you have lots of pairs of those squares of little patterns, and then you draw them on paper, and then we're going to Sarah and I will play this together. Sarah has made this game to be played with cards. One person needs cards, and everyone just needs paper and a writing implement. It's not hard. It's quite simple. Board games and prototypes, it's what we're playing today. Board games and prototypes, we are going to play. Hello and good afternoon, good morning, good whatever it is. Thank you, Sarah, for joining me for another episode of Playful Shenanigans.
Thanks for having me.
And
I look forward to this.
Yeah, so just as a quick introduction to what we're doing today, we are playing this prototype. You have called it Phonemos. Can you quickly show off a few of your cards, if that's okay?
You bet. So I had drawn this out the last time we played. Let's see, there we go. I've made actually a little prototype because I'm giving this away in my, oh gosh, my light's too bright. Let me fix that. There we go. I'm giving this away in my Twitterversary packet. So I made a little deck of cards to send to people.
And so they're all symbols.
They're all symbols, yes. So since our little drawn on index cards prototype, I thought through how to make it more simple. I had originally, you may remember, there were vertical lines, horizontal lines, and diagonal lines. It was a little confusing. So I just simplified it into circles, triangles, hexagons, polka dots, and chevrons.
Okay. Cool. And so people are going to be placing these things. They're going to get points according to having so many on lines or adjacents. Is that still?
Yes. So
and that's all be explained all down the way, but it's quite simple. It will be, oh my gosh, it's been raining quite a bit. I have changed all my clothes since I came in, but I've been feeling a wee bit sick since Thursday, to be honest, and hopefully it's not coming back.
Oh goodness, yeah, I hope not.
I might actually put on my Christmas jumper again just to stay warm.
That's a good idea. Well, it has actually been raining all week here in the desert Southwest. We are getting quite a lot of rain in my town and all of the places where I go and do inspections. I do stormwater inspections for construction sites as a job that pays my bills. They've all been getting rain, and so there's been quite a bit of work this week. So that's always good.
No, that's fantastic. And so you've already said that you are a water expert. And if people want to know a wee bit more about you, how would you describe yourself?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm a desert girl, grew up here in New Mexico. I grew up on a farm. And I've been a journalist. I've been a gamer. I've been a games journalist. And now I'm a game designer, nominally. And I don't know what else to say. That's kind of who I am right at the moment. Also have a PhD in water policy. So.
And how many board games have you been working on? And what's your kind of board game life? I mean, what was the first board game you played? What was the first modern board game you played? And what was the first board game you started making?
I feel like those are two different questions. What's the first board game you played, and what is the first modern board game you played? I feel like those
and
are
what's
separate.
The first board game you started making?
Okay. So probably the very first board game I ever played, it was either Sorry or Parcheesi. Those were two favorites in my family. No, I take that back. It was Candyland. Because I remember being really, really little and my mom would never let us win.
US classic. Not seen much of that outside of the US, I don't think.
Yeah. But my family did play games. We played card games, we played board games, we played all the family games, you know, and my parents, we still buy them games. It's good for them to get their, you know, get their brains working, keep them working in their 80s. The first modern board game I played, oh goodness, what would the first one have been? I can't remember. It's been long enough. I can't remember.
Wow.
But
Okay.
it was probably only about 10 years ago, maybe even less. Maybe, so I'd have to like think through what was out at that time. But I started actually making a game.
I mean, I see it doesn't make that much of an impression on you then.
You know, it's that I met some people who had a ton of modern games, and my first experience playing with them was playing a bunch of games and then coming back like week after week because I just was hungry for it. And they had so many games. I don't remember what those first ones were. I was overwhelmed by it.
And by
yes,
of new games.
Yes, it was awesome. Hi, Flo.
Hello. It's lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. And we're just talking about how we got into the hobby. And so if you want to share as well, let us know what are the first games you remember playing. What are the first board games you remember playing? I mean, I'm going to join in the conversation and say the first game I remember playing is, I don't know. We played quite a bit of Monopoly. We played quite a bit of old school Risk, like the take over the world style, not the modern, like you've got these missions. And that old style take over the world, because of at the end, you've got the whole negative feedback. Well, it's not. Yeah, it is a bit of a negative feedback loop where there's one superpower and now suddenly everyone pushes against them. And then there's a new superpower and everyone pushes against them. But in the end, it's like two people going back. But like these were epic games, most of which never finished.
Yeah.
And then I got into board games basically through Go. And I loved games. Like I remember all sorts of things like, having a 3D noughts and crosses things, playing traditional stuff and just learning Go when I was at university, and then finding everything and then being like, oh wow, on boardspace.net there's all these modern board games like Hive. I've never heard of this, and Pelago. And I played Hive like 40 something times before I bought it. Same for Pelago. And it's not like get a certain number in a row. It's not move things around. It's completely different. And I think the first ones that I actually played, because I remember it because I actually made a big point of going to this group in Glasgow. My first night was I bought Settlers of Catan, like Ticket to Ride, and a couple of other recommendations on Board Game Geek, which I discovered this amazing website where, of course, you've got all the information and like Aldi's done an amazing job with that. But the first time I went to a board game club night, it was, I think, Lost Cities by Reiner Knizia, a lovely two-player game, because we turned up a little bit late and then we jumped into Puerto Rico. And I'd seen this number one of the Board Game Geek rankings, and I was like, wow. Yeah. And Flo says, I honestly don't remember the first modern board game. I discovered a game cafe and it was all a blur. As a kid, it was Monopoly, Skip-Bo, Othello, Game of Life, Clue, etc.
Yeah, exactly. That was my experience too. But you know what? I actually do think the very first one was Settlers. I think it was Settlers of Catan. I really do, because I mean that's like everybody's gateway game, right? But I do remember playing that maybe before that night with those friends who are now some of my very dearest friends in the world. Like games they own are also games I own. We're that kind of friends. Like we have like our games are like a pool of games that we all they'll be like, oh, we're gonna buy such and such, so you don't have to get it. I'm like, great, I've really wanted to play that. So
that's fantastic. I mean, I'm just remembering in my mind that I actually played Magic the Gathering back in the day in 1995 or something. But for some reason, that doesn't equate to me with the modern board gaming, because CCGs are such a different beast, if you know what I mean. Whereas then when you've got like party games, even party games like say anything. That is so much developed compared to the party games that like Taboo and stuff like that, where it's okay, there's a little bit more going on here. And I think, yeah.
So it's funny that you say Taboo, because my computer is sitting on my Taboo box lifted up high enough so that I'm not like, so you're not like looking at my nose. That's what I use Taboo for these days.
I mean, do you not still enjoy it? It seems like still a fine game, although... who was it? Was it CGE? I can't remember who did trap words, which is a really interesting way to play around with Taboo, to say the other team takes the words and then that brings a little bit more interaction and a little bit more thoughts into it.
Yeah. Well, and now, of course, you can play Taboo on your phone, right? And you've got the thing, you lift the phone up to your forehead and the people are looking at it and giving you the clue. However it works, I don't remember. I haven't played it. I mean, I've played the phone version. But I feel like some of these games, some of the party games, they've made such good app representations of them that people are able to play even if they don't have the box. And so, yeah, I don't think I've opened this box in 6 or 8 years.
Wow. I got the big Taboo a few years ago. I think it was like £2 or £1 or something. And it was like, yeah, I might as well get it for that. I mean, I'm going to have enough fun, even like as a board game designer, I'm going to learn enough and have enough fun just reading through the instructions. And it's got an actual little mannequin that you maneuver called Eric, and then you've got to get Eric to do charades at some points in the game.
Oh, how
it's
funny.
like, so it's basically 4 mini games, only one of which is classic Taboo.
Oh, cool. That's kind of cool. You know, I think that's such a good point, though. I've been thinking about this a lot recently, is all these old like family and party games had very simple rules. The rules are kind of brilliant. I remember our copy. In fact, my family still has the original box of Sorry. All of the rules, the whole rules for the entire game are printed in the lid of the box. You know, it's not like pages and pages of stuff coming out. And I mean, I love game. I'm the rules person in my group. I love games with rules. I'm like, give me the rule book. Here we go. You know, I'm ready to play. I want to dig in, but I also think that we can learn a lot from those older games that had the very simple, straightforward rules. They were written really well.
Yeah, there is something amazing about games that are able to do that. And part of it is, frankly, the ridiculous boxes they came in.
Sure.
I mean, they wouldn't have a box that, you know, they would have boxes that are bigger than, I was going to try and find Tapestry, but it's like 2 meters away, so I'd have to get up for just a minute. But like, it's, you know, they'd have these amazing like letter shape things that, because the board only folds one way, like with Monopoly, rather than having a double fold board. If you only fold it once, that makes such a big difference. And so even Monopoly came with its rules on a bit of paper. But when you've got like, well, you can't see me, but let me actually make, if you got the rules in like a thing that's like that big, then of course you're going to be able to put the rules onto the box.
That's true. It was a big box. I will give you that. But I mean, it still was maybe 8.5 by 11 front and back, you know, like it was, they're still simple, they're still straightforward.
I agree. Like, there is something wonderful about that simplicity. And when you've got, I mean, I like to believe that, I mean, this is me blowing my own horn. I like to believe that I've managed to do that with some of my own games. I mean, this is actually a sealed copy. I don't know if I've got an, well, like Yogi, it's like that size fronts and back, and most of the back is like, I think you only need the front for the rules, because then you've got 2 variants, and the back is a whole bunch of pictures of half the staff members, you know, all in different poses.
Nice.
And the original version of the L deck, which came in a little tuck box, all the rules were on little cards. And so I managed to get all the rules onto front and back of 1 card for most of them, but like one of them then needed an example of play, because I was like, it's not quite clear enough. But I think there is something really interesting, especially when you start thinking about games to play on stream, when you think about introducing people, because it's all about on-ramping things. But I've realized more and more that having rules as succinct as possible isn't a benefit. It's not a good thing. You've got to make the space to have the diagrams to actually explain a few of the FAQs if they're likely to turn up. Remind people, hey, at this point, by the way, remember, you're allowed to lie. You need to state these things explicitly, or, hey, by the way, remember, like, wee reminders. And I think there's something to be said. You don't want to overstate things, but we don't want to go down the whole thing of how to make a rule book, do we?
No.
We were just talking about the name of the game. So today we are going to play a game called Funimals. I know, Flo, I assume you are working. I know that you are not normally one to play along with the... I'm not going to say this is a super involved game, but unless it's like a 10-second typing, I know you're not one to actually play along with a game normally. But this is a simple game. You'll be able to explain it in a wee bit. And before we started, we were talking about the nature of fun in games. And Denry said you were talking about Simon something.
Simon Singh. He's a science writer for the BBC, and he's written quite a few books about science and math. One of my favorites is called The Code Book, which is the history of code making and code breaking. And shortly after finishing reading that book, which is brilliant, I read The Da Vinci Code, and I hated it so much I threw it across the room because it was so stupid. So, oh gosh, so yeah, that was where I was coming from.
Yeah, because I was talking about the Da Vinci Code, and a lot of people talk about that, or even like 50 Shades of Grey, which started off as fan fiction for Twilight, if I understand correctly. And, you know, all this stuff where maybe it's not written, you know, well from the perspective of, you know, someone who studies English or literature. It's maybe a bit derivative, but fundamentally, if this stuff is enjoyable, isn't it good? Like, as long as it's not encouraging people to do harm, of course. Of course, like, you can have games that I think are sincerely evil. Like, you can have games that, you know, you had games during certainly the turn of the early 1900s, which were about propaganda for all sorts of things going on to normalize bigotry and all sorts of things. And I think that if you ignore the theme, none of them are particularly good games. You know, it was 100 years ago. But the point is that they might have been games that at the time people might have had fun with them. But that doesn't. But from the perspective of good versus evil, then it's, you know, I would argue that that is kind of an evil game, but at the same time, in a fit for purpose kind of good, you could say, yes, these are fit for purpose, which is kind of a really weird, and I feel icky even talking about this. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I mean, I guess fundamentally, you first got to say, is what this game is promoting, is this game's purpose something that's actually going to improve humanity, even if it's just, hey, giving someone a bit of relaxation for 5 minutes or a bit of laughter, then I think that's a great thing. But you do have to think about, what does it normalize? Does it normalize what lessons does this game teach? Because every game teaches lessons. What is, you know, like with the representation in the game, that's going to normalize whatever's in the game.
Yeah.
But I think that fundamentally, you know, the question of fun, it's kind of overstated, because I just feel like from what are games capable of and what emotions are you really feeling?
And you know, it's so funny because people have said to me through this whole process of becoming a game designer, starting my little business and all of that, don't use the word fun on Kickstarter. Don't say your game is fun. And so I, of course, have read hundreds of Kickstarter pages over the last year and a half. the vast majority use the word fun. And I'm like, that's interesting that so many people have told me don't do that. And yet so many people do that. Maybe that's why I'm getting that advice.
I mean, it's a thing. Like, I think that there's sometimes people give advice because it annoys them personally. And sometimes people give advice because, and that's, I think, where a lot of people are going to come from. But sometimes the advice is genuinely from your game will do worse if you do this, or your game will do better if you do this. Let's be honest, people talk about don't spam all the Facebook groups. But honestly, and this is a sad reality in my opinion, your game will do better if you spam all the Facebook groups. I mean, yes, you'll turn off a lot of people and long-term relationships might suffer. But if you just think about that next Kickstarter, honestly, I think that we are more at risk of being unknown and ignored than we are at risk of being hated. And that's the thing. That's why companies, even if they suffer controversy, are going to survive that, because it's all about being known. And that's the slightly, there are definitely some things that I would not do, but they do help marketing wise. And I guess the word fun, from a casual gamer point of view, it's oh, this is fun, when you basically just mean this is engaging. I had a positive relationship with this. I could say reading this book was fun, when I really mean it was stimulating, it was thrilling, it was. But fun is just such a vague concept that what does it even mean? But as designers, as writers, as people working on the craft, I think it behooves us to think more deeply. But when we're marketing, I think it probably behooves us to use as simple language as we possibly can. I don't know. But anyway,
it's just my prototype working name, so I wanted to call it something other than, I think my folder is called Abstract Polyomino Prototype Cards or something like that. So.
Don't worry about it. So it's called Phenomeno. It kind of also sounds a bit like phenomenal.
Yes, I know. I thought like that was actually really funny. Myself, because it's really just so simple.
Okay, phenomenal. Let's talk about it. And do you think I'm better off playing on paper, or should I get a screen up so that I can share that screen?
I think either way is fine. I think when we just play on paper and kind of like show, oh, here's what I did or whatever, that has worked all right.
Okay.
But if you have got it set up to where you can put it on the screen.
Okay, explain the rules and I will set something up.
Okay. So it starts with a deck of 25 cards, and there are 5 different, I'm still trying to get this to where it's not so shiny. There are 5 different shapes. There are equal numbers of those shapes in the cards, but you start by shuffling and removing 5 cards. So there are only 20 in the play deck. So there are 4 different kinds of cards. There are the singles. And so if you get a single domino, you have to draw both sides of the domino on your sheet. There are the singles with a question mark. So you have to draw the triangle and then you get to decide what the other one is. There are the ones that have, there we go, 2 dominoes, and you have to choose one or the other, and you can't take like one side from one and one side from the other. You have to either choose to use this one or this one. And there are the doubles where it's just double of a particular shape. I also tried to make these colorblind friendly colors, but I'm not always sure that the prototype printer here in my town can really match the colors properly. So I also made sure that every shape was different. And the only other constraint is that you can't make your final grid bigger than 7 by 7 in either direction. There will be 40 total things drawn within a 49 square area, but you don't have to draw a 7 by 7 grid. You can start anywhere and you can go in any direction from that, as long as it doesn't go past 7 in either direction.
So at the end, you're going to have 20 dominoes that you've arranged in this imaginary 7 by 7 grid. And how does the scoring at the end work?
So there are 2 ways to score. The first is one of each of the shapes consecutively in a row or column. And if you have, you can only score that once per row or column, and that's worth 5 points.
So that would be 5 different shapes?
5 different shapes. They have to be consecutive. And if you have, a chevron over here and all the other shapes and a chevron over here, you don't get to score it twice. I played it that way and I played it this way, and I like this better. You only get to score it once. And the other way that you can score is to have 4 of the same shape in a square, and that's worth 6 points. So 5 points.
So a line of difference is 5. A square of identical is 6. Okay. And that is the only ways you can score.
Yes. And the tiebreaker is the one with the most squares. The one with the most squares of 4 matching.
Oh, okay. As I thought you meant as in the most tiles, and I was confused. I was thinking, doesn't everyone?
No, we all have the same. We all have the same number of tiles. Yeah,
that was what I was thinking.
The one with the most squares of 4 identical.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, because those are marginally harder to do. You've decided.
No. I think it's because I had a reason.
Okay.
You know, I actually, you know what? My scoring is wrong. I did have a reason. The squares of 4 are worth 4, not 6. I'm sorry. The squares of 4 are worth 4.
Ooh.
I need to make sure that I say that. That's why. Because they're worth less, so I think people will go after them less. But then the tiebreaker is to encourage them. Stretching time. Do we need to stretch before we start playing?
Oh, yes. It's always worth stretching. Stretch. Stretch. Stretchy stretch. Stretchy stretch. Stretchy stretch. Not many words rhyme with stretch.
Sketch.
Oh yeah.
Retch.
Yeah.
That one.
Hopefully you don't stretch. Stretchy stretch. Stretchy stretch. I hope that you do not stretch. Okay. Now that people have this, visual image of people stretching and then throwing up, let's start the game. And I am going to draw on paper, but yep, I just thought it's going to be a lot easier for me. And I do apologize. I will, once I've actually cleaned my table, I am going to share the before pictures. But my table is embarrassingly messy, but I will get the overhead camera. Fingers crossed, in a few hours, we will see how it happens in the next 3 hours.
Awesome.
After the stream.
Cool. Yeah, good. Are you doing another stream in 3 hours?
8. Yeah, so I always do something at 12, 4, and 8 on a Tuesday now.
All right, good.
Okay.
Good. Okay, all right. Here is our first
chevron and circle. Okay.
All right. All right. Our next one is triangle and polka dot.
Triangle and polka dots. Okay. And I'm just
got
them on a line.
I also just have a line.
Okay, so we're both hoping for hexagon.
Yes, and we did not get it. We got a triangle and a circle.
Triangle and circle. Okay. Okay.
All right. And our next one is double polka dots.
Double polka dots. Okay, so let me So I'm thinking that I could make some columns and maybe even a little square. I don't know. We'll see how things go.
Yeah, let's see. So I've got
oh, yours is looking quite different.
That. Yep. I'm already going for a square over here. So
I was thinking about doing that, but then if a square comes up, then that's ruining the thing for the hexagon.
Yeah.
And we're likely to get the hexagon because they're equally distributed, right?
They are, but also remember I took 5 cards out.
So there's 25 cards and 5 of them are
removed at the beginning. Yep. So you don't end up with equal numbers.
Equalish.
Equalish. Yeah, equalish. All right. Next we have another chevron and
oh my
another
gosh,
polka dot. Interesting.
That's not good for me. Chevron and polka dot.
I just got my first square. I just got my first square.
I know. No need to rub it in.
Sorry.
I'm being salty.
I'm singing a little song.
Congratulations. I do apologize. I should be happy for you. Congratulations on your square, Sarah.
Oh, that did not sound very
Finally.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to stick this guy over here. So this is my little hexagon. I can draw a hexagon. Oh, that turned into an octagon. It's fine. So here's a question. Is the hexagon and the circle, are they too close? Are they too similar? Will the hexagon be hard for people?
I think they are too similar.
Yep. I'm going to write hexagon in mine because I've drawn over it so many times it looks like a circle.
I would suggest fewer points. I would if you want
to just be a square. It could just be a square. I don't have a square.
I was thinking square. I was also thinking you could have a star. You could have a pentagon.
I like the star idea because people learn in elementary school, right, how to like draw an easy little star. That's actually a good idea. I might change that. If you want to draw a star instead of a hexagon today.
I've gone with the hexagon. I've already started.
Yeah, I have as well. All right. Oh, good. Yeah.
Double chevron. Ooh.
Yeah, so we've got a double chevron here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can go one more this direction. Should I though? Should I?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got my 7. I've got my 7 across.
2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got to 5 by 5. I'm doing a double chevron, hoping for a square. We'll see what happens. I'm scoring 0 current. Oh no, I'm scoring 5 currently.
Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, I forgot to put this. Sorry, I only drew one side of my chevron. Yeah, so since I've already got the square over here, I decided to go ahead and put the chevron over here because then it still makes room. And I've drawn where my 7 are across here so that I'm sure I don't go an extra one across.
That makes sense.
Of course, I have limited myself in how far I can go up by using a grid paper, but it's okay. Ooh, another double circles.
Okay, I am going to pop it there to get myself 4 points.
Ooh, very nice.
Have you got in a little circle square?
I don't have a little circle square.
Okay, so are we currently equal on 9 points?
Yes, I think we are. All right, I'm going to stick mine
Neck and
up
neck.
there.
4, 5,
I don't know if
7.
that's the right choice, but that's what I'm going to do. So I stuck mine up here.
That makes sense. Lining yourself up for that square if
Ooh,
it comes.
this is going to be a hard decision for me. So you choose one of these two. Do I want the circle or do I want the chevron? I think I'm going to do this.
And the interesting thing about 7 is that in theory you can have the 5 in the middle and then have a square on either side. If you are amazingly lucky and
right. Yeah. So which one did you
I got
pick?
myself chevron.
I took the chevron in the circle. I made myself a chevron square over here, and then I've started hopefully another 5 going this way. So we'll see.
Still neck and neck.
I am. Yep. All right. So the next one is a circle and a question mark. So that question mark can be whatever you want it to be.
Literally anything. Ooh, question. I assume that just like the rows of 5 cannot overlap, a square cannot overlap.
Right. Yeah. Each square in a row and column and each square in a square can only be counted once.
Okay.
All right. What do I want here?
1, 2, 3. I could get myself 5 points, so 2, 3. I am going to, yeah. Actually, I'm just going to do diamonds for the
hexagons.
Yep.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I also did a hex. I put it over here and finished my square, and then maybe have a way to get some stuff going this way. This is going to be a lost row right here. I can already tell, but it's fine.
5, 6. I can go a little bit higher or lower, but only by 1 square. Okay, next, let's keep going.
All right. Hex and chevron.
Hexy chevron. Or in my instance, diamond chevron, because...
Nope, I don't want to put that there. All right, let me think this through.
Okay, I've done diamond chevron like so, so I'm thinking that either I could get a circle up here, or I could get double diamonds or hexagons up at the top. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I did mine backwards. Hang on, this is the hex. This one's the hex. This is the chevron. I'm going to write in it because I did them on the wrong sides.
Yeah, circle does give me 1 more point, so I'm probably going to go for the circle, but we'll see.
That's a chevron. Okay. All right, a chevron and a question mark.
Ooh, chevron question mark.
Let's see. I don't want
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Don't need a chevron in there. I don't need a chevron in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh.
Yeah, these are very useful. The ones that you can make fit anything in. And it's really important to try and optimize them as much as you can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That just gave me another column of 5.
4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, my height is maxed out, so I've got a column of 5, but I might have some chevrons going left if I get another couple of things with a chevron. Let's see.
Well, I just made a mistake. I just made a mistake and left myself. Oh, hi, Rob. I just left an open space in there that I'm not going to be able to fill because 1 by itself is stuck. All right, here's another double. So you have to choose one of these 2.
Chevron triangle. So what's going on, Rob, just to explain, is that you have to choose, for example, here there's 2 dominoes that Sarah's showing on the card. I have to think of one of them to add, and you score in 2 ways, either by having all 5 in a row, or columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I scored that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I scored that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I scored that. So I've got 3 times 5 is 15. But I'm also scoring the 4 points for a square of identical things here, and over here for identical things. So I've got 15 plus 8 is 23 currently. I don't know how you're doing, Sarah. I mean, maybe
I haven't been keeping good track of it.
I'm thinking of doing a chevron and triangle over here, but everything's falling apart because I don't have a lot of plans for the future. It feels like, I could also go chevron and triangle down here potentially, which would then mean that I only need dots, and that would be nice.
Yes. Yeah, Rob, I think you actually played this with us when I had it written on the index cards about maybe 4 weeks ago. All right, here's the next. It's a hex and a question mark. Hi, Jess.
You said hello to me and you. And yeah, it's kind of Quirkle-ish. I would agree with that, with a bunch of differences. Hexy something.
Oh, all right, great. So here's my hex. My very poorly. Mine now also looks like a diamond. I will be changing that, but unfortunately, I've already printed the prototype. So whoever gets this is getting this like this. So my question mark is going to be polka dots, and that gives me another 5, right?
I am going to do some. Yep, I'm calling the hexagons the diamonds, and yep, I'm hoping to get a square of chevrons. We'll see what's going on.
All right. Here's another
polka dots.
Choose one of these 2. Ooh,
polka dots give me another thing. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh.
Oh no.
What do I need? I need another triangle at some point. Yeah. So I did.
So my little black circles up the top are just to help me count at the end, and I've got 5 here. This is a lost cause. I've got 5 here and 5 here. And I think all my other lines are sadly lost causes. But now I'm thinking about getting that little more. But we'll see how it goes.
I can go down one more. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I've got 5
1, 2,
going
3,
that
4,
way.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I should
10,
not have done this
11,
in
12,
pen
13,
because
14, 15.
I keep making this.
So you've got 5 more things to go.
Let me see. 1,
hey,
2, 3.
I've been playing in pen is part of the difficulty of a roll and write, because when you're playing in pen, it's like, Flo's got an interesting question. So a row of 5 can't overlap, a square of 4 can't overlap, but can a square of 4 and a row of 5 overlap?
Yes. So
great. That's what I assume.
Yes. That's the only place where you can score a single square twice is if it's in a consecutive row of 5 or if it's in a square of matching 4.
Great. I assumed that, so clearly that feels more intuitive, at least to me.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you have any assumption, Flo? Let us know what you thought. But yeah, I think I just need to get another chevron and in my next 5, and I guess maybe I might be able to put in another square here.
Yeah, I now have my 7 by 7 defined.
Okay.
All right. So here we go.
Ooh.
Double.
Wow.
Double hexagon. What am I going to do with that?
Okay, I'm going to put down double diamond because I'm down here, and I'm hoping that I get 2 more diamonds over the course of the game.
Yep, I'm sticking mine off to the side. I'm sticking mine off over here to the side with the hopes that maybe I can fill in that space there. We'll see. We'll see. That might
there's
that might
4
not
more
be
turns,
the best
right?
idea. Yes. All right. Hexagon. I mean, sorry. Triangle and chevron. Triangle and chevron.
Ooh. I have made another little square with my chevrons. And I do notice that potentially if I get circle, dots, and chevron, I could get a line of 5, but I'm not expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
But I'm open to the possibility. Is it 3 cards remaining?
Yes.
Okay.
Ugh.
So
I don't know where to put this because I have.
We will have to see what happens at the end.
1, 2, 3. No, I can't play there. That's only 4 there. I'm going to. I have pushed myself into a corner where I think this is. I'm not going to be able to get. Let's see. What did I need here? I needed polka dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll go ahead and do.
Okay.
Go ahead and do this here, I guess.
So I'm just drawing out my little lines and stuff. Or
this is a chevron. This is a triangle. Okay. Next one. Oh, I don't like it.
Ooh. I mean,
triangle and question mark.
Oh, again, I'm assuming. I never double checked, but I'm assuming that the horizontal and vertical rows can overlap.
Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. So that would be a second way. It's just in a row or in a column or within a square. Yeah, that they don't overlap.
Understood. Yeah, when it comes to writing the rules, that's going to be
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking through this stuff because this
going
is
to need a couple of examples.
Let's see. Let's see here. I can't hear. Oh, maybe. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So
yes.
Triangle and diamond at the bottom, hoping to get 1 last diamond there. How many cards are left? Is it 2?
Yes, 2 left.
Okay.
This is a triangle.
See what we get.
Polka dot and circle.
Oh, wow. Polka dots and circle. So, because those are the 2 that I needed for this column.
Oh, yeah.
So, all I need is either chevron here or diamonds here, and I get 5 or 4 points. So, fingers crossed, I get either chevron or, chevron or diamond. And I'll get some points at the end. We'll see what happens.
All right. I'm in pretty bad shape with both, and neither of these really help me anywhere. Well, I guess I'll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Shoot.
There's definitely.
I have made some bad choices. It's fine. It's fine. And the last one is a choice of one of those 2. I don't think either of these is going to help me.
I could do either of those. I'm going to choose the chevron. It's such a shame that, if the diamond's just 1 off to the side, it's a shame. But because they have to be placed as dominoes, I now have a line of, or a column of 5, I should say. Look, the diamond just wants to be a little bit further down.
All right, I don't think this helps me anywhere I put it. I can't make a square, and I can't make I can't make 5 with anything here.
Got a column of different things here. column of different things here, and here, and here. And as far as rows go, it's just the one here. These 5 things are all different. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Plus I score the number of squares, which is 1, 2, 3, for 12 points. And I guess that's 37.
Nice. All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's another. I didn't start setting mine out like you did early on. 2, 3. Nope, those are the same. Let's see. Oh, I do have one going down this way. I did not notice, so that's awesome. And then those are the same one.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, I do have this one.
So Flo was playing along as well and managed to get 27.
Ooh, I got another one I didn't remember I got. Excellent.
Thank you for playing along, Flo, and I hope that you enjoyed it.
And then I have 4 here and 4 here. I did not get as many squares, I don't believe. I only think, oh no, I got 3 squares. I got 3 squares. Okay. Okay,
1,
so
2, 3, 4,
I
5,
have
6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You can show us your paper when you're done counting, I guess.
So I have 5 times 5 and 3 times 4.
Oh, that's the same as me.
Oh!
25 and 12.
Oh, so we tied. We tied. Okay. So I had
well, we've both got 5 times 5 and 3 times 4. So
what would the next tiebreaker be? We just tied. I don't know.
I mean, maybe you don't need the next tiebreaker. If we've both got 5 rows and 3 things, maybe it's the number of unused things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unused things. But I don't know. I think it should probably just be a tie. Out of curiosity, how many unused things do you have?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I mean, that means you have more overlaps, which I don't know whether that should be rewarded or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But so Flo enjoyed it. Used the spreadsheet with colors instead of shapes.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And
I did try to make the colors different enough for people to use colors if they wanted to. Absolutely.
Yeah, and people can color in if they want to. I do really like being able to go with just one thing. Panic Games says the pattern would look nice on a tie. Hello, Panic. Thanks for joining us. I think it's a really nice system, and I could see this even being a little bit of like, yeah, I would have, as it says, I think it's perfectly pleasant. It's very nice. I mean, I would happily play this with family or whatever. I can't imagine, like, it kind of fits into what I see as a lot of games, and maybe I'm kind of starting to become a bit old, jaded. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, because I've seen so many games now. I'm like just wanting to see things that do something new and exciting. And the truth is, like, it doesn't do anything new or exciting, but what it does do very well. It's very pleasant. It's very, you know, it's not like I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm playing this game. It's like this amazing thing, and we have to play it. But in terms of, would I like, and also I really like the fact that it fits. It's a really nice, actually, you know what? I say it doesn't do anything new, but I lie. Of course it does. It fits the design criteria that we set out, which is one person has the things, everyone else just needs, like, we both use square paper to make it easier for us. And I think this could be really nice to have imagine like a whole bunch of games where you don't need pre-printed sheets because that's then a bit more environmentally sensible. You don't need to have, okay, you've got 100 sheets, and if it's too many, then they're wasted. And if it's not enough, then you feel sad. And people end up having to laminate them. I think that's actually a really good selling point. The fact that it is just, I don't think this is one that I would necessarily want to play again on blank paper, but I think on square paper it just works so much nicer, and I didn't have to bother drawing the squares. I could just draw the symbols, which was quite nice. And square paper is something that it's not that difficult to buy a whole bunch of, and so and anyway, Panic says you don't always need a whiz bang, which I would agree. But imagine if we did have, like, I don't know, it's like 20 cards is, no, sorry, 25 cards is kind of a slightly awkward number because it's just under half a deck. But I guess you could have like a couple of cards which explain the rules, and maybe that's good. And then you could have like half a deck and then put it even like in a budget bag, like just a Ziploc thing, and then have those two cards as the front cover and back cover.
And I think the rules are simple enough that you could definitely get them on one or two cards, front and back, and exactly. Then you do have half a deck. It would be easy to print. It would be inexpensive to mail.
And because I think it's an interesting thing, because I was talking to Jason about UK Games Expo. We're going just the two of us and having this big stand, and I'm still a bit, like a little bit anxious. I'm not going to lie, a bit excited also, but yeah, I'm going to do Wee Whimsical Creatures as my first Bezzy budget bag, which is just a bunch of cards literally in a bag. But you know, I feel like I still want to experiment with different scoring systems for the Tetris game that we played the other day, because I'm thinking, you know, I wasn't sure if I liked the +10, but I need to play around with maybe just a fixed number is better, because I think that this could be a really nice thing. And imagine if there were like, it's like all you need is this tiny deck of cards, and if it's half a deck, then what is that, like 120 print on demand, something like that. I don't know. Like,
I think at my little just local print shop, I printed these 25 cards for $2.40.
Okay,
which is a £1.80 or £2. I mean, I don't know.
Like I got a quote for a deck of 54 cards in a bag, and that's costing me £2.40, but I'm doing 50 of them. So like, because I'm doing like, okay, a small run of 50 and I'm selling them. Like if you do a small run of 50, you will get a discount for sure. But having said that, 50 means that you're then, you know, you need to double up, kind of like potentially do 100 things. But I think it's really nice. I think it, as I say, I honestly felt it was very pleasant. I felt it was, and the other thing I was thinking was that in theory, you could have different kinds of scenarios. Like you could have a scenario where you're making these things and then they give you fewer points, but you're trying to you get negative points for unused things. I don't know. Negative points for unused.
You know, I was even thinking about negative points for like like single squares that are like all by themselves. Because like if you have a space where you could still play something, that's one thing. But like I created this space up here by mistake, just trying to, you know, finish off some stuff that ended
But
up.
that's part of the flexibility of the system, that you only have to fill in 40 spaces of this 49 space grid. I mean, talking about flexibility, I wonder if a row or column of 5 is correct. Have you tried it with only needing 4?
I haven't.
Because if you only needed 4, then that would add a bit of complexity.
It could be a third scoring thing. I like giving like a. It's hard to get 5 consecutive different things, and I like that. Like, to me, that's the fun of trying to fit it all together. But it could be maybe worth.
Like, you want something that feels like an achievement, right?
Yes, exactly.
And it is a minor achievement for sure.
Yeah. So maybe 4, if you have a row that only has 4, maybe that scores 3 points. Because I feel like it should be. I think that's pretty easy to achieve. And I would have had several. And it can't be a row that you scored 5 on. It would have to be its own.
Yes, a row of 5 and a row of 4 cannot overlap on the same row for sure. But
I would have had maybe.
I would not have had any.
I would have had 1.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I would have had 1 down here where I messed up. Yeah. I would have had 1 down here where I messed up and put 2 chevrons together.
I'm just looking if there was, but it would have been another thing to think about. But then again, how simple do you want to make it? How accessible do you want to make it? Because I do like the guidance, because needing to get 5 in a row for the 5 points, and it makes sense. It's 5 things, 5 points, 4 things for 4 points. And that makes sense. Both of them give you as many points as the number of things used.
Yeah.
But
I do kind of like that idea of maybe a variant is like Tetris shapes. So if you end up with certain shapes, you get certain other points. That wouldn't maybe be the regular rules, but maybe that could be a variant rule.
I mean, honestly, it kind of feels like it would be, there's like 2 ways you could go about this. You could have like a slightly more complicated variant, or you could even have an expansion or a sequel. Like, once you've done Ganstrom Clever, you have doubled So Clever. So why not have Phonominos and then Phonoblinimos? I don't know. Phontuminos? Phenomenos too? Phenomenos sequel? Phenomenos as well. More phenomenos. Mighty more phenomenals. But yeah, whatever it is, like the other thing that you could do theoretically, and I don't know if it necessarily has, like, if there are, like, maybe there are kind of 10 different variants that you could play, and thank you, Panic. Lots of love. If you do have Phonomonos, do. I don't get what melody I'm meant to be saying. I don't get it, sorry. But if you do have like maybe 10 or so different variants, it could be like a little campaign saying, oh yeah, do this. And once you've done this, then, hey, here's a new rule set that you can do with the same thing. And here's another variant. And, oh, I get it. Phenomenos. 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 I like it. Thanks for the help. Anyway, but no, I like it. I mean, yeah, I don't think you need to do anything to it. I think it's a perfectly fine, pleasant game, and I think it's fantastic. Also, it's going to be easily prototypable. Like, if you want to sell it as a print and play, 25 cards is not too much. That's 2 or 3 sheets of paper, depending on how you print at home. But yeah, it could be for sure just like a here's the cards and get your own squared paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, I'm glad it worked out because I've enjoyed this little project. It's been a fun challenge, and like it's good to have those constraints where you're like, it has to meet these 3 criteria, and if it meets these 3 criteria, then let's tweak it a little till it's actually playable.
Which 3 criteria? Can you actually spell it
out? Let's see. What did we say? We wanted it to be abstract, and we wanted it to be playable on. I thought so. I thought that was kind of the or like tile or something.
I mean, you were the person who came up with the dominoes. You like the idea of dominoes,
and you liked the ideas of like the Tetris shapes.
I mentioned the original design was that it was about 4 or 6 weeks ago. I can't remember how long ago.
About 6. Yeah.
And I said, okay, I've made these word games. Oh yeah, I said not a word game because I've already done quite a few word games with the L deck, which you can play with a blank sheet of paper, and also make your own crosswords, which we'll be playing tonight in like 3 hours.
Nice.
So those games you can play starting with a blank sheet of paper. It's basically a roll and write, but you start with blank sheet of paper, and I think that's his design constraints. But then we said it should be simple enough for streaming. Maybe that was the second thing.
Yes, that it was, one person could have a deck, so it could be played on streaming, and then that it didn't require anything more than a blank sheet of paper and a pen and pencil.
And I think you've done a great job here, and I think there's definitely a lot more that could be done in this space. Like if you look at I feel like this might have been a presence. I feel like I want to give a shout out to Tom Cauldron, but I'm not 100% sure. But I got this book a while ago, and this book, some of them are very heavily inspired by public domain things. Some of them are completely the author's invention, Walter Joris, and you'll see they are very abstract. They kind of lots of them are about kind of movement, but you write the numbers or you're placing things, and I feel like these are a lot more thinky, and there's no randomness. And I think having the components, having some components to it, makes it, and some possibility for randomness does make it a little bit less stressful, a little bit more pleasant and joyful. I don't know if that's too strong a word, but congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, thanks for letting me do this and like play through it and play test it with you and everything. I think it's been fun. I think it is something that I might put out there on something like what is it? I can't think of the name of the website that people can like order from them and they print the cards and send them.
GameCrafter, DriveThru.
GameCrafter is the one I'm thinking of, but yeah, DriveThru. Does DriveThru do stuff that's not RPGs?
Yes, DriveThru cards.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize they had that. So yeah, something like that.
And then you've got Print and Play Arcade. That could be a thing.
Yeah. So I might stick it out there and do that, or print a handful of them and just have them for sale on my website or something.
Nice.
Take them to cons.
So I think we should wrap up around now because we've been going a bit over an hour. I'm trying to keep all my streams relatively short because much as I love streaming, much as, I did do one that was more than 26 hours, which I downloaded, and then I'm going to divide up because I didn't know that YouTube doesn't allow you to have a video that's more than 12 hours long.
Oh, wow.
So
I didn't know that either.
Recommendation, anyone who's planning on doing a live stream to YouTube that's more than 12 hours long, it will mess up. So you should probably kind of stop and then start up a new video. If you want to make it simple for yourself going afterwards, or you can, of course, download it, and then you'll have to spend time editing it and doing whatnot. But, yeah, what was I was going to say, I will be back tonight in 2 hours and 50. Are you laughing at Rob's?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like personally attacked by that, Rob.
Oh goodness, that's funny.
I feel like I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that I would make a habit of it, but I definitely am not regretting it, and I appreciate the laughy face. What was I? Yeah, I am going to be back in 2 and a bit hours. You know, every night, every Tuesday. This is what I'm streaming: 12, 4, and 8, which is 11, 1. No, 7, 11, and 3 New York time. Or if you're in Sydney, it's +9, which makes it, oh my gosh, 9 p.m., 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. So I don't expect anyone in Sydney to be watching. But, you know, reminder that there are people across in the world. It's not just the USA. Finished. Rob says, love you, but it was a decision. Yep, I don't know what to make of this. I was astonished that you were still coherent 26 hours later. I did have to spend a bit of time recovering from it, basically, a weekend. I'm not going to lie. Thank you for being here, Flo. Thank you for being here. Thank you for obviously being part of the stream. I do want to say, actually, you were part of that, Sarah, and I want to kind of get, once I'm making my way through it, I'm going to kind of send off personalized thanks. But thanks, Panic, for being part of that. Thanks, Rob, for being part of that. Flo, I think I definitely saw you. But like, thank everyone for being here now. Like, let's concentrate on the now. Thank you for being here right now. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all the good things that you do. Thank you for being excellent. And let me see. Yeah, we've already talked about what we thought of the game. If you have any final thoughts about that, then let us know. Oh my gosh, I completely need to get your links to share them up on the Twitter. But before I do, found it. While I'm doing that, what are you looking forward to doing after this stream, Sarah?
Well, I am going to work on the rules that I'm sending out with this little prototype to the person who wins my Twitterversary basket. I'm going to try to get the last tweet out for that. And
nice.
And then I've got to help my parents get a vehicle into the shop. So there's vehicle drama happening in our family. My parents still live on the farm I grew up on, even though my dad is 89 and my mom is just a little younger than that. And so they're not as capable of doing some of those things as they used to be able to. So I'm trying to help them out with stuff like that.
I want to report that I did manage to draw a couple of pictures that were a competition prize, and I sent them off, as well as someone bought a copy of Yogi Guru, which is always nice when someone orders something off my website. And I posted them out since this morning. And I am going to go and buy some black bin bags. I've got a bunch of plastic containers that part of me really wants to keep, but it's like at a certain point, it's like, Bez, you don't need that many plastic containers. Just throw them all out. It's kind of, it's taking mental loads and it's stressing you out, and even just get rid of them and throw them away. Cool. What else can I say? Sarah, I am going to obviously be back in next week, and I can't remember what I'm planning to do. I'll probably be doing a quick video game on my own next, Playful Shenanigans, but maybe in 2 weeks' time we can be together and play something. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
If anyone out there wants to join me for any board game arena things on a future Playful Shenanigans, and even if Sarah's here, like, we can make it a threesome, like,
absolutely,
or whatever, and we can play all sorts of things. But lots of love to you all. If anyone else has got anything that they want to say, please feel free to do. Yeah,
Thanks, Panic.
Copy the raid message. Who should we raid today? What are you up to? What do you like? This is the end of the show. I like to ride my bike. I rode my bike for 2 hours yesterday, which I was quite chuffed with. And my legs were tired at the end, but hey ho. Okay. I am going to raid let's raid Duchess again. And if you copy paste the raid message, that would be lovely. Otherwise, raid Duchess 1105. And that is the end of the show. Do you have anything else that you would... Oh, Smolecule is doing a birthday stream.
Ooh.
I do not see that. Smolecule. Hades. Oh, if it's Smolecule's birthday, I think we should... I am already following Smolecule, so I will raid them. Because if it's their birthday, I did not realize it was their birthday. Let's go in and let's wish them happy birthday.
Yeah.
So everybody, we are going to raid Smolecule, and we will be saying happy birthday, put in all the love hearts and all the emojis, and do the whole happy birthday thing. But for now, anything left to say, Sarah, or shall I just say bye-bye?
Let's say bye-bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you. This is goodbye song. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye-bye, bye-bye. This is the end of the show. Bye-bye, bye-bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye-bye, bye-bye. This is the end of the show. Bye-bye, bye-bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Sarah. Bye-bye, Rob. Bye-bye, Panic. Bye-bye, everyone.
Speed
Bye-bye.
stare. What's a speed stare? You stare really fast. Oh. I can't get that close.
Why not?
Because my computer is far away. Far, far away. There we go.
Bye-bye.
Oh.